Welcome back, Benchwarmers. Today's episode is going to take us down a different path of the sports world.
Our guest has years of experience in sports marketing and promotions. He's going to give us an inside look into that world.
In-arena DJ, bobblehead designer, special event MC, and even podcast host. He does it all.
Today, we're doing the hosting while he drops some insight into his eventful life. I'm Brendan, marketing major.
I'm Corey, promo schedule lover.
And I'm JoJo Maestrado, a.k.a. DJ JoJo. This is our view from the bench.
Before we get started, if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss any one of the new episodes.
Also, if you could please do us the favor, if you like what you see or hear, please don't forget to smash that like button.
Smash it for us. Come on. It's free. It's free for you. It's free for us. Helps out the channel a lot more than you probably think.
Hell yeah.
Well, before we jump into, the life of DJ JoJo, we are, 10, 15 minutes removed from the USA-Canada Four Nations Face-Off title game.
Ooh.
And while it was a good game, the results were disappointing. Corey, I know you were watching it. I was watching it. JoJo, I know you were watching it. Corey,
yes, sir.
What'd you guys take from this, man?
Oh, man. It was a great game, man. And it's just the Four Nations tournament has just been overall a big win for our sport, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been great. And it's weird because there's only four nations. This is obviously a preview to the World Cup of hockey thing we're going to get to in a couple years. But, man, if this is...
And the Olympics coming up, too.
Yes. Mm-hmm. This is just the preview of the four teams. I can't wait till we get an actual Olympics next year and then the following tournament once we get moving.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, look, All-Star is dope for the NHL. And, obviously you guys know all the chatter of what's been going on with this going on at the same time as the NBA All-Star as well. but yeah,
I'm a huge basketball fan too.
As Connor McDavid said, is best on best, and to be honest, it's pretty cool seeing some of the NBA guys kind of taking a peek at what hockey's doing too, and they're like, hey, maybe we should kind of do something similar.
Yeah, or at least care about the game, maybe,
At least care about the game. Absolutely.
If you really guys want to get into it, you should watch PK Subban. I think he was on the Get Up this morning.
Oh, yeah.
His whole about it was great.
PK's just got to be almost like a permanent. Like, we want hockey to grow even more. Hey, put PK on First Take every week. Yep. Just so just from here on out, like he's been repping the sport. And it's been great to see. But even going back to the game, man, I mean, look, goes into overtime. This is exactly how it should have ended, right? Yeah. And despite all the stuff between USA versus Canada, people booing anthems, all political stuff. Like, by the end of it, obviously I was cheering for USA, and but to see Connor McDavid scoring that way, it kind of it was just great to see for the sport overall, for sure.
Yeah,
you can't leave Connor in the slot like that. That just doesn't make sense.
Like, come on, guys. Come on. I was trying to equate it to basketball, and I was telling you, like, that's like leaving Steph open for a wide open three. It's like, come on, just put a guy on a guy.
Doesn't make. I gotta ask you though, Brandon. Like,
yes,
sir. What all the NBA guys are kind of claiming, like, hey, we can't be going too hard. We still got the rest of the season to go. You're seeing some of these guys in the tournament hurt. Now we got the rest of the season to go. So is there some validity on that side in terms of that mentality on the NBA side?
That's a really good point. And honestly, I think that's one of the reasons that the U.S. kind of blew it towards the end, was not having Matthew Tkachuk right there at the front line just doing work. But, now it's not great for his team going forward, and obviously injuries is something. The only thing is, like, I mean, hockey's a lot more physical than basketball. You could try without running fools into walls. So I'm with you for sure, because injuries do happen, even when it's just super random and you're not trying. But, yeah, it's like a weird give and take then,
Yeah, for sure. Totally. I'm sad it's over, but I'm also itching to get back to the NHL season for sure. It was a fun break, but let's get back to it.
Yeah, I agree. It's been long too much. The Ducks are actually pretty good right now, so let's get back on the ice.
Oh, that's what I mean. I was like, man, are we breaking momentum? Like,
too much layoff.
Hopefully not. Hey,
no.
Boys are gonna come back rested up. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. So then, since we've gotten through the game now, the real reason we're all here, obviously, we mentioned, is talk to JoJo and his role in the organization with the Ducks. He is the promotions and marketing manager for them. He's been there for a long time. JoJo, I'm just going to do a little resume backup here for everybody.
Yeah.
So you started out kind of like me at the bottom. You started out as a street team member back in 2010, worked your way up to marketing assistant, then promotional entertainment coordinator, then assistant manager, marketing promotions, and now, as I mentioned, the manager. And then you also now started hosting your own podcast on the Duck Stream, spinning it with DJ JoJo. So, like,
yes, sir.
Man, what don't you do?
Yo, it's been a journey, and one thing, man, like Corey's been there, from the jump, right? So you want to say like tenure, like, hey, Corey's was there before even I was, but
True.
what's been dope to see is like, man, right back at you, like, even starting on the street team, like meeting and knowing Corey and seeing what his grind along the way, as well, and seeing where he's at. It's just cool for people like us and a few others in the organization that have again grinded through and also started, quote unquote, at the bottom of that said department and to where it's at now. So I went from just kind of saying what's up to Corey here and there, to now Corey emailing me being like, yo man, you got your bill to pay, bro. You got some stuff from the store and you are past due. And I'm like, hey, valid. I'm sorry, I got you.
Yeah, I get it, man. During the season, the schedule for you and I is insane. So having to try to keep up on all of it is hard enough as it
Hey,
is.
you know where I'm at, man. We're good for it.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
This shirt included, bro.
Literally wearing it right now.
All right, and then just a couple other things that you had done in the past that I was able to find up on you is you were
Yes,
the
sir.
LA Kiss game presentation promotions guy when they existed at the Honda Center.
Yeah,
You
man.
iHeart Media radio on-air personality. I did not know that. I was kind of intrigued by that.
Yeah.
You had one season with the LA Wildcats again as the game presentation DJ guy, and then you also are now the DJ for the Angels across the street the last couple.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know how it is, man. You just gotta try and keep not only grinding within one spot, but seeing where you can dabble kind of all over the place, and even to kind of go back in that order. Cool. That LA Kiss kind of happened with. They're like, hey, are there any Ducks people that are familiar with the building already that could kind of help us out? So that was a fun couple years, for sure. And I'm glad I'm glad I got the experience. But man, arena football is its own beast for sure.
Different world, especially LA Kiss Arena. That was a whole nother
Yeah,
kind of world.
it was a good time. But and then iHeart was fun, and I was with a radio station out in the Inland Empire, 99.1 KGGI.
Oh yeah, KGGI. Yeah, of course,
Yes, sir. So I went by Joe Maestro on the air there, because there was already a JoJo on the radio with Kiss FM, which is still within the same family, obviously with iHeart and whatnot, but needed to have a little bit of separation, I guess per se, just given how how long he's been in the game out here and still continues to be. But mad respect to this podcast world, because back when I was on air at those stations, it was like, hey, you got a 30-second break or less, or like you're done, and so it was cool introducing new music and obviously talking about different topics and pop culture and all that stuff. But major props to you guys and just the podcast world in general that I'm learning now, where like actually it's the opposite. You got to talk for an extended period amount of time, and how do you stay stay engaged and interested all throughout is definitely a beast in itself for sure. But definitely thankful for that experience, because I think it's helped me out in this world too.
I know that your current employer, so you're probably gonna pick Ducks first. Favorite non-Ducks job that you had?
Ooh.
Or have, if you want to include the Angels since it's current.
The Angels is awesome, man. One, obviously, given that it's across the street, so it's I can still work my full gig during the day, and then just kind of hop over. And it's Major League Baseball, like it's awesome. And honestly, I'm so pumped that you brought up the Wildcats. I mean, that opportunity was so great. Obviously, COVID happened, so I only did 3 of the 5 home games that year. And when the Rock brought it up, I think the LA market was probably a little it didn't succeed enough out here to obviously bring that team back. So I wasn't.
There's a lot of stuff to do here, bro.
Dude,
this market's saturated with sports.
Oh,
bro.
for
Unless
sure.
you're the top of the top, it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, Wildcats, I'll say opening day, I mean, it was the closest sellout over at Dignity Health Sports Park. And I remember throughout, going to game 2 and 3, it started to kind of dwindle a little bit. And I was like, man, there really is just too much out here. And then, you guys know, it's like you already got 2 NFL teams, 2 big college teams out here. Arena football obviously hasn't really succeeded out here. It's like, but it was a valiant effort, and I'm glad I was a part of that. But I would say, Angels, and then outside of even sports, I got contracted last year to be a DJ at Disneyland. So
Oh,
I've been there.
don't tell my wife, bro. Shoot.
Honestly, the goal was like, yeah, to kind of be like Ducks, Angels, Disney in the way. I think a lot of more of the locals know it's called the Platinum Triangle. You know,
You're
between
trying
the
to take
three
over all
spots.
Anaheim, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's cool to be there. You know, a few times a year, and I definitely have the pride of being kind of like a DJ out here in Orange County, Anaheim for sure. So,
I like it.
All right.
yes,
So
sir.
first question I got for you, JoJo, is if
Yeah.
like I don't know if you had a plan, but what initially got you interested into getting into marketing or even the sports part of it as well and promotions?
Yeah, man. To be honest, I was always a big fan of sports. But growing up and even finishing high school and whatnot, I was preparing to go to school for nursing, kind of be in the medical field.
That's what my nurse.
And
That's what my wife does. That's funny.
yeah. And so, definitely grew up with that passion. I mean, my parents, they were in the medical field and whatnot too. And so just wanted to kind of follow suit. But then, I didn't really think that my personal passion for sports would turn into something more professionally. Until kind of late high school, I started kind of dabbling I did the school announcements, right? That was kind of like my first gig, like kind of getting a taste of like kind of announcing and using the voice a little bit and started dipping into like the ASBs, stuff like that. And then I started to realize like, man, like I'm having fun with this, but then I still thought it was fun, and not so much more career like. I started kind of just DJing just for fun, and then I landed my first official job, which was on the Duck Street team. Because when you're going, and your wife would know, right, Brendan? It's like it's not like you're going for nursing, but there's not really something you're doing beforehand, besides school that leads into that, right? Whereas like this, I was looking for a job for fun and something that I love in sports, and then in radio too, being over at KGGI on their street team, something to do while I was like pursuing this nursing thing, right? But then, man, I just got more and more passionate.
Yeah, hooked,
and
bro.
then especially I got hooked more on the duck side, and I really then just kind of went in on hey, I want to make this career, and then so I started moving up, like Corey just kind of mentioned here, from the street team to a marketing assistant. That's where I started kind of getting more of a gauge on like the promotions, like what are things that are going to get people to buy tickets from giveaways to ticket packs and stuff, in addition to the street team events of us engaging with people in the community and trying to get them to come to a game for the first time and whatnot. So from there it just kind of it kind of blossomed to what it is now, and I've stayed in the marketing department ever since.
Have you played? Two questions. It's kind of a two-part question. Did you play
Sure.
sports, even if it wasn't at a high level, like on a team? Did you just play like even as a kid? And then the second one, were you always drawn to hockey specifically, or was the Ducks just close?
It's funny you say that. So I grew up playing basketball, and I played football and track throughout high school. Never really like played hockey. I would ice skate for fun during the holidays at various
okay. I've never ice
rinks
skated,
and
so.
stuff like that. Yeah, and so I get the job with the Ducks. One, because I was in Riverside at the time, and I was dipping into radio, but wanted to dip into sports too, and that was something that I was interested in, curious of, in terms of going to games and just having a good time, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Not really necessarily like into the sport. I mean, dude, I've been with the Ducks for 15 years now, and I've still probably only played in a legit like pickup hockey game a handful of times.
Same.
So
We did that in college. Remember that, Corey?
Park and pick up a roller, and that's the extent of it.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. I early on in my street team days, I was like, okay, look, like if I'm gonna work for a hockey team and we're expected to like kind of host, skates on the ice at Honda Center, like, so I wanted to at least have my footing so I didn't look like a total noob out there while rocking the logo, But but I'm not even what you would consider like bronze league or rookie league, like at an actual, an actual like hockey pickup sense,
Gotcha. Well, I actually went to school, like, I don't know if you caught it, but I mentioned it in my intro. I actually did go to school for marketing because it's something that had always interests me, but I never got towards the sports thing. If you had to give like advice to somebody, maybe to 20-year-old me,
Mhm.
to work, that someone aspiring to work in sports marketing, is there any, or promotions, is there anything specifically they would do that you would give them?
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely like go. You know, I feel like some of these, and I feel like a lot of answers I hear like go for internships and stuff like that, and that's all. That's all true. But really looking into the weeds of like these other these other teams, like street teams, even going in and on the merch world, like Corey did,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not the end all be all. Like I literally have like friends, best friends within the street team that like one of them, David Schenker, he's now the
Executive
with
to
the
the
hockey.
players or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
he
way up.
travels with the team and
Hmm.
he's
Wow.
booking all their hotels and he's organizing the schedules of what they're doing on the road and here and he started on the street team, right?
Yeah.
And
Dang, that's
he went
cool.
to school for like, I don't want to quote it too much, but like definitely within like that communications like
Yeah.
realm. And I remember like back we were like, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to like stay within marketing. And then that happened. And he's like, I want to be in the hockey ops world where I'm like with the team and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And that came to fruition too. So
Look at you
I,
guys.
dude, yeah. And there's a few of us that have ventured off into other departments here. It's just, sometimes you just got to get that foot in the door.
That's cool.
And then, some of these internships like are tough because it's like one of one, right?
Right.
Whereas like, this street team, like my street team now, which is dope because I manage that same team now. And I tell them all the time, I sound like that old guy, like back in my day.
You
It's
could
like,
be
no,
like me.
no,
My
but
staff
for
was
real,
so good.
absolutely. It's one of those things where like, and Corey, like those have a better chance of getting in because usually there's multiple spots
Yeah.
year to year. And so yeah, like it's just getting that foot in for sure. It like for a sports marketer like you, obviously that it's more of a win if you could land a team that is within marketing, right?
Right, like
But
initially out of the gate.
initially,
or something. Right,
yeah, but that's not, everyone's journey is different. I've literally hired people that went into a different group, like say our 50-50 team, the people that sell the raffle tickets, like
yeah.
yeah, like he started on that team and now he's one of my leads on the marketing side, and so
Okay,
like
yeah.
sometimes you gotta find your way in elsewhere, but just getting in, period, I guess
That's
is what
the key.
I'm trying to say. Yeah, for sure.
Makes sense, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then,
Yeah.
as far as like you working on sponsorships and stuff like that, what kind of things or factors do you consider when planning a promotional event or a campaign?
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
I think our market is so unique. Where like not only are we obviously a sports team in the market, like in what you consider one of the four major league sports, but there's two of every team in this market, right? In addition to that, like Disneyland's down the street, and there's a game here, but there is a concert happening on the street. Like, so I think we have like a cool, unique factor where we really gotta like push the envelope to push ourselves as a brand, right? And so to kind of get into the weeds of that a little bit, it's just like what's going to cater to a casual fan and also maybe a person that has never heard of us before, right? And so just in my world, for example, like for the giveaways, right? What's going to attract you to come to the game if you haven't been to one yet? And so you look at the schedule and you're like, okay, I could go to those games. Ooh, like they're giving away something on this game. Like that's cool. Maybe I'll circle that on the calendar. But then what's that item, right? If you've never been to a game before and I tell you, hey, come to this game and you'll get a Radko Gudas bobblehead. He's our captain. Is that going to be attractive to you if you don't even know who
Radko
Radko
Gudas
is or
is?
any one of our team
Right.
is, right? However, that might attract obviously someone who, like outside of our season ticket holders, obviously,
Yeah.
like your casual fan who's becoming more of a fan. They're starting to get to know the players. They're like, oh, Radko, like last game I went to, like he was awesome. Like, dude, I want to go to that game to get that bobblehead.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. But for me, like I'm also trying to attract that brand new fan who's just coming across, and what might attract them. Maybe it's maybe it's a free hat with our new cool logo on it. It's not player specific,
pretty
but
sick.
like,
Yeah.
but hey, it's a hat. And then Corey and his team gets all pissed off because I'm giving away a free hat at the door.
You're taking our shirts, man.
Now they can't buy a hat. They're only coming to buy shirts now.
No, but nonetheless, like that might attract like a brand new person where they're like, okay, you know what, I'll buy the ticket and I get a free hat. That's cool because that hat I would have paid this much for, and now I feel like I'm getting,
$25, $30.
now I'm getting, now I'm getting a deal, which they are. And for me, I'm hoping I could warm them up with that hat and say like, oh, cool, this is a cool hat. Now I'm gonna go in the store and maybe get something else with it. Or maybe like I like this hat, but not enough to like rock it with my usual stuff. Now I'm gonna go to the store and see what else they got. Maybe something I can buy that matches more with my aesthetic, or whatever.
This is now a gift for my friend.
Yeah, exactly. So it goes anywhere from thinking of like, okay, who am I satisfying, and I feel like that's different from campaign to campaign.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of those promos, and maybe not, if not all, you could tell me more. Most of them, I feel, are partnered with either, Fox Sports West when they were the media outlet, or local sponsors and stuff like that. I'm sure there's struggles. I'm sure sometimes it's easy depending on who it is. But what would you say is like the most challenging part of coordinating with external people? Obviously, in-house, talking to Corey, getting here, getting there, it's a little easier. What would you say is the hardest part about reaching out to others that are sponsoring?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to try and obviously make the giveaway just as beneficial to us as a brand, to the fans who are receiving them, that they're going to be pumped on it, and also obviously the partner as well who's supporting it. So a part of that is also making sure that it's an item that makes sense with their brand as well. So we're not just like placing, any brand on anything just because we can, trying to make it like cohesive for both. So for example, Pacific Premier Bank they've done our military hat like every year for the past several years, and now it's become a part of like their entity with us. Now people look forward to kind of like that that new version of the hat. So I think at the end of the day, like it comes down to is like, okay, who's the partner, and and what kind of item makes them makes their logo look cool on, and also aligns with their brand. And not so much alike, because a hat you could probably put most brands
any logo on a hat
for sure. But when we start to get kind of that's a cool thing about promotions, as Corey would know. Sometimes on the merch side, there's the higher expectation of your items to be, to look a certain way, or to be a certain way. And I hold those high expectations for us too from a promotional side, but like we do have a little bit more wiggle room to like have fun with it, right? Because it's a promotional piece. So with that being said, it's just a matter of again making sure that like it falls in line with what they're doing as well. So like, for example, the first time we ever played Vegas, we did a deck of cards to commemorate the matchup. Who did we do? Who's a better partner, McDonald's or one of our cool casino, sponsors? Okay. In this case, Yamava. I was like, of course, Yamava's gotta be on this thing, right? And so, just making sure that we're thinking about it thoroughly and not just just slapping it on, just to slap it on.
I don't know if there could have been a better example. that last one with the cards was such a good example. I completely see the connection there. Yeah, you're not putting McDonald's on a giveaway for cards or a pair of chopsticks. Like, what am I going to do with that? You know what I mean? Yeah, so I like that. That's pretty good.
At face value, I'm sure it's fine. You're not going to think, but like, how could you step that up even more?
Right.
By details. The small details when you see fit, right?
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. All right. So then, looking more on side of like the fan perspective, like you said, you're having to try to always find a new fan or keep that same fan in the building. What's like the biggest shift you've seen in like how fans interact with sports marketing or promotions since you started? Because obviously you've had a 15-year career, so you've seen, as we talked about, a lot of growth within the organization. Mm-hmm. But what about the growth or the changes, like how the fan interacts with those promos and things that you do?
For sure, man. I've seen such a big just shift in general with regards to how people consume the marketing, right? And so I love that, like that at the end of the day, like free stuff or cool promotional items, I feel like the want for that hasn't shifted, which I'm glad, but I feel like the way we're putting it out has. So for example, I used to do like, back in, the early 2010s. I feel like I'm aging myself. Early
Back in my
2010s to like 2015. It was like, cool, we're gonna do like these cool, like I'm gonna get this giveaway, and we're gonna go out to the community. We're gonna be like, hey, first one to like meet us at
Oh,
this
yeah,
like secret
okay.
location. It's cool. Like, and don't get me wrong, like it's cool, but like what I realized through the years, like, okay, that was cool for like the people that came, but how is that really reaching the masses that we want,
Yeah.
right? And
You're
so
helping out the
like,
5 people that showed up or something. Yeah.
yeah, which is fun. I mean,
Yeah.
it still showed that there's like this, this willingness, like the guerrilla marketing factor of it is still alive, and that's still alive today. But I think from I think just the digital side, social media, and even paid ads within social, and even like through like Google ads and web ads, all that stuff, has really has really changed the game of like, um, how you push this stuff out. And so we've really leaned on that, and being very specific on who we're targeting out there. In addition to obviously your traditional marketing of like, hey, like here at the game, in 3 weeks we're giving this away, so make sure you get your tickets, and we're showing it like live and all that stuff. Like that's all never gonna change. But I think from a digital standpoint, TikToks and like reels and how short attention spans are now. Like you
Dude,
gotta
insanely,
make
yeah.
sure these people like are attracted within the first few seconds. Otherwise, they're gonna swipe. And so what it like be just having a new level of creativity to try and get people to one see the content you're putting out, and then being interested enough to like boom, like I'm gonna go to that game to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reacting with it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
100%.
That's what's up. Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to, I mean, I've learned a lot, but I kind of have a general, more open question, less about like
Yeah.
businessy life.
Yeah.
This is more like personal too. Anyone that you've in any event or giveaway promotion that you've been involved in, across them, LA Kiss, if you want to include it, Angels, whatever. What was been your favorite one? Like, what was like, dude, I wish I was getting that, or maybe you did get one. I wish this was, oh man, this was the best one I've done.
Yeah. I gotta say,
Maybe two if you can't pick.
yeah, no. Two come to mind for sure. Recently we did a co-branded Ducks jersey with the Angels for our Angels night. And it was mad hysteria, man. It was like we gave this jersey out to the first 5,000 people.
I've never seen the line so long to get in the building so early.
It was insane, man. And like, huge props to everyone that came early. And was more people, like the place was buzzing, man. Like I'd never seen the place more packed for warm-ups, and there was like a domino effect of like just more people in the building, which meant more people in the store even earlier, which meant more people just being in, having dinner, having drinks, getting ready for the game. This was on Tuesday night too. Like it felt like a weekend, like Saturday night game.
That was a Tuesday game? Wow, yeah.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
that is impressive. That's more impressive.
That's a part of the strategy. Sorry to go back a little bit, but that's a part of the strategy too, is like, okay, like that Tuesday game that we thought would not, maybe sell as much because it's on Tuesday night. We put Angels night on, we put the sweet jersey, boom, it's a sellout. And it's a sellout with 17,000 people in the building, knowing that there's only 5,000 of these jerseys, and so just seeing kind of like the way people, like whatever they had to do, whether that's they took out for work early, they didn't go to work, whatever they had to do to make sure they're at the doors, and then come to find out that we ended up selling a good amount of Angels night merch. Maybe the people that didn't get the jersey still had the appetite to have a piece of merch, and so they're going to the store and they still want to be a part of the night. Like
You're
it's
welcome,
all
Corey.
a domino effect, right? Like that's what's so fun about the job. So I would say that most recently, and then Corey knows this one, from 25th anniversary. I did a split bobblehead with Ryan Getzlaff.
Yes, this is the best.
Dude, and it was like, this was the assignment. We were celebrating the 25th anniversary. our organization,
Team,
obviously.
yeah.
And the challenge was like, hey, how do you show 25 years of Ducks hockey within one bobblehead?
So
I was
perfect.
like, okay, so the whole thing was, I hope you kind of add this maybe in post, like maybe
I
showing the
definitely
bobble or whatever,
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
but like it's half of them is on his draft day, and it's him in his Mighty Ducks jersey. He's holding his draft hat, and then it transitions to the other side of him, where him in that year is now bald, and that's always was always kind of a ongoing thing with the fans. Mention how Getsy kind of was balding through the years. I actually saw him on
Mm-hmm.
TV tonight with Team Canada. He's celebrating with the squad, but like that year, the jersey was cool because at the split it was the original Mighty Ducks jersey and then the 25th year jersey. So you kind of saw this transition, and then on his hand instead of obviously his draft hat, it was him and his championship ring, along with his wedding ring too. So it was like him just kind of growing through the years, all within one bobblehead. And I'll never forget when we pitched it to him. He's all like, "Yo, this is ridiculous, but let's do it." And I was like, "All right, let's do it."
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I haven't seen it before.
Hey.
It looks dope, dude.
It's crazy, and so that's a part of the fun thing too. It's like I feel like it's easy to kind of go into like, oh, let's do a classic bobblehead with someone in their full uniform and
Yeah.
keep it traditional. Well, this was not that, and
Unique is
it
fun.
it gauged up. I think initially it kind of people were weirded out by it, but I think as we got closer to the game, as we got closer to the game, we got more traction. Spin Chicklets picked it up, and I remember some of the higher ups over at the league kind of were at that game and were giving us our flowers for such a unique promotion, and so that was one that I was really really proud of for sure. Just trying again trying to be out of the box.
Yeah, and
That's what it takes, man.
the detail of it, like you said, like not only just giving them a bobblehead that's different, but the ring on his hand that he was married and the Stanley Cup. I was only thinking the Stanley Cup. I didn't think about his marriage. Like, okay, yeah, the complete evolution of him as a person, not just as a player.
True.
Is
What's funny? What's funny about that is he actually was the one that like asked for the wedding ring. He's like, hey, like, 'cause I just put his Stanley Cup ring,
Yeah.
and so so I was like, hey, well, cool, you go with this? He's like, and he was the one. He's like, hey, I'm a married man now too. Like, I'd love to show that as well. I was like, okay,
Hey,
nice,
props, Getsy.
love that,
Nice.
yeah,
I like that too.
yeah.
Hey, including them alone and letting him be a part of it, and he was excited is cool enough. But the fact that he also included himself and gave you a thing to add is even better, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
and,
he could have said, "Yeah, it looks good," and then just
go for it.
went on his way.
100%. And he had to be, and it goes to show, the kind of guy he is. Like like the whole thing with the balding, like that could be a sensitive topic to some,
True.
So the fact that he was cool with that, like, was awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Before we wrap up, I want to say thank you, but I'll get to
Of
that in a
course.
second. Did you want to? I know you said you started your own podcast. What's that about? What do you guys cover when you talk?
Yeah, man. No, appreciate it. It's new this year. It's called Spinning It on Duck Stream, so you could catch it on Spotify, Apple, on Victory Plus as well. We have the actual like video versions of the podcast on Victory Plus, which is cool.
Oh, awesome.
But honestly, man, yeah, it was a great opportunity. I think given the role that I've had, I've also like in parallel kind of was DJing and hosting. Now I've become main DJ and host for every single game too. So I think that's what's fun. I kind of have like my desk job, which we've been talking about this whole time, but then I feel like after on a game day after 3 o'clock, I turn into this whole other beast, and just like, and just all the pent up energy that I had, behind my desk, making sure all these promotions are good. I'm able to hop on a mic, play music, and have fun at the games. And so I think what's cool is kind of led into this idea of the podcast. And with Spinning It, the title behind that came from literally from a DJ's perspective. Obviously, spin records and stuff, but I think from a podcast standpoint and conversation standpoint, like we spin it all the time, right? And like I'm like the last show in the realm of all the podcasts that really dips into kind of like the weeds of the game. You'll never really hear, like, it's funny, like we were talking about the game and I was like, man, like I feel like I can hold my own to a certain degree, but I'm not going to get into the weeds of like the stats, how many minutes each player had, you know, all that. It's more so kind of the other side of the organization, from, again, all the promotions, the events, entertainment side that I kind of have on the show. Like, for example, like I interviewed the Kings host, my man Mikey Alexander, like my counterpart over there.
I was gonna
and
say, like, your
we're
counterpart, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking smack and we're having fun, but we're
Boo
not
Queens.
necessarily like debating on, you know, which player is better because of like whatever, you know, stats
His
they've had
player
over the past
efficiency
year.
rating or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. We're just like talking smack, like, no, I'm better, you're better. Like, you know, just fun stuff, just fun stuff like that. But it's been fun, man. Like I've had a bunch of great interviews. I've been able to interview some former guys, even some of our current guys, as well. And again, it doesn't go into the weeds of like, hey, what's your like your practice routine? And I'm more asking like, hey, what music are you listening to on the way to the rink so I can play it in game and get you pumped up, you know, things
Hey,
like
yeah,
that.
okay.
So yeah, man, it's I appreciate it. It's been fun. I think I'm nearing like around episode 10 at this point, so still new.
Okay.
I even got to interview the Offspring like last week too because of our
Hey.
come out and play night. So
I'm so glad you did, because I don't know if you saw that email I sent you like 3 weeks ago. I was like, JoJo, you better interview the Offspring.
yeah, man. Yeah, it's rad, and so it's cool. Like when that episode comes out, you know, again, like being more of the music guy, it was cool to kind of incorporate that.
Oh yeah, true.
Tying hockey in, but not from like such a literal sense of like what they do on the ice. It was more like, hey, like, you guys are rock stars, these guys are professional athletes, like, you know, how do our worlds like clash without getting to the weeds of what you actually do, you
Gotcha.
know, things like that. So yeah, to wrap that up, it's like it's been a fun show that's for a professional hockey team without necessarily going into the weeds of hockey all the time.
Honestly, you kind of need the other side, man. That's what makes it fun. We can watch ESPN and read Bleacher Report articles for all the stats. You know what I mean? Like, I want to
Yeah.
know who we are, who's the player. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you're really interested in the Ducks players, you can go listen to Alexis Downey, who does all the stuff. And
Exactly.
knows that's where if you want the X's and O's, you go listen to Alexis Downey. She's
Alexis
great.
Downey, even Emerson Edom, like as a former
Oh
alumni.
yeah, I remember you telling me about him, Corey.
Yeah, and that's cool too because like he's a former player now, is one of our color analysts on radio, and so like between them, like I'll leave that all to them, you know, like I know my spot, like I'm the hype guy, I'm trying to get people loud and going in the game regardless of what's happening on the ice,
Right.
and then and on the other side trying to do cool giveaways and events and promos to have people, you know, excited about the Ducks again outside of what's happening on the ice. So for the show, like, who am I to like get into, you know, how Frank Vetrano played last night,
Or
Yeah.
why he took so long to do that line change or whatever. Yeah.
I'll recognize that he played. I'll be like, yeah, and that's my boy, and I love his goal song. That's it.
Well, make sure
maybe
everybody go ahead. I was just saying,
No,
make
I'm
sure
just saying, like,
everybody go
hey.
check out that spinning, dude. Go check it out.
Oh, appreciate that, man. Appreciate the plug. But I seen you guys' show too, man. You guys crush it, and
I appreciate it, man.
I love the variety and you guys as hosts too, with regards to like what sports you guys kind of lean more towards and whatnot, and like you guys do a good job of, you know, spreading it all throughout. So
Thanks,
I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, one last thing, and then I'll let you talk, Corey. I'm sorry, I've been talking.
no,
for a
you're
minute.
good.
But I just
Yeah.
have to say, I haven't been to one this year, but I went to one of the games, maybe two of the games last year, and it was on one of the nights where you gave out. It was, I know it was like a 30th anniversary, like a special night where you gave out
Is one of the decade
the decade nights. Yes. So I went to one of those.
Yeah, Legacy Night. Yeah.
Yes, and I just want to say, bro, this was before I even knew you. Obviously, I just met you today. You killed it, dude. Like I was thoroughly impressed. I had a good time at the game. I believe they lost because they lost a lot of games last year, but that wasn't the point. I truly did have a good time at the game. I think somebody got a tattoo in your booth while you were right next to him or something like that.
That game. Yeah.
Like, dude, just a bunch of crap. I was like, bro, this is fun. Like, this is fun.
Yeah.
Like, even though the team
Dude.
that I was rooting for lost, it was a fun game. It was a close-ish game, and it was
Yeah.
just the atmosphere was fun, and you were a big part of that. So I just want to say props to you, man. as
Oh,
a
Brendan,
as a third party consumer.
dude, you have no idea how much that means, man. You know, because that's the goal, right? I
Yeah.
think you know, we're in such a unique market where like not everyone, and frankly, not a lot of people just know the ins and outs and weeds of hockey, right? And so like,
Not in
there's a
SoCal.
lot of people, exactly. There's a lot of people that are coming to games for the first time, not in a sense of like they already know the game. They just want to come out to something cool
Fun.
and something lively in a big arena, and it's a big, you know, big production, right? And so,
Yeah.
like, if you're not gonna know exactly what the game and what's going on down there, then everything else around you also has to click for
Yeah.
it for you to, you know, have a good time. So obviously that's the main show. Don't get me wrong. Like,
Yeah.
regardless of what we do and the millions of dollars that we just put in this past year, by the way, you got to come back, man, because
Dude,
we put in,
Yeah.
dude, the on ice projection, the new lighting, like, we got flying ducks going around the bowl now. Like, dude, there's so
Hey,
much
okay.
now. Like, you had a good time last year, bro.
Yeah.
You got to come on back.
All right.
But nonetheless, like, I think people in our position, that's why we do it, right? Again,
Well, you did good.
regardless of what goes on out there, like, we could be down 5-0, you know, our people bopping their heads, having a good time, and getting loud when, you know, when we're trying to hype them up. So Brandon, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
No, so thank you for that, and thank you for today, dude. Your time is important, and we appreciate it.
yeah,
Of course, man. Of course. Corey, what you got, bro?
Oh man, to be honest with you, I got way more out of this than I was expecting. I didn't expect us to get more than 20 minutes, so I'm just thankful for you being here, man, and I appreciate you coming on. And you know, when you get ready to have another episode and you want to talk merch on your side, let me know and we'll do that.
Yo, absolutely, man. Yeah, I gotta take you up on that. I've been talking to the guys, but this is great. I'm so pumped for you, bro. And to be honest, it was one of those things where, like, when you even first told me you were doing this, I was like, Corey, you doing podcasts like that? Like, you know what I mean? He
This
like
guy's on
Corey.
it, bro.
Yo, Brandon, you know, like, Corey, for the most part, like, I still define you as an extrovert, but, you know, but at the end of the day, Corey, you know, but
Yeah, he
like,
is.
I didn't think there was a side of you that, like, would be doing this, you know, and so when you told me, and then I watched a couple of episodes, I was like, okay, Corey, like, you got it, man. And Brandon, again, you guys crush it, bro. So
Appreciate you, bro.
nah, thank you guys, and I wish you guys all the best of luck with this. You guys put in a lot of work, and everyone, make sure you hit that sub.
Hell
Make sure you hit that
Thank you.
sub. Yes, absolutely. And you know, hopefully we can do this again.
Yeah,
Appreciate you, bro. Any final plugs before I wrap?
Nah, man. Everyone
Hold
check
on.
out.
I
What's
got
up?
one plug for you, JoJo.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody, if you're a Ducks fan, don't forget Friday, February 27th is or Thursday, February. Come out and play Offspring Night at the arena. We'll have Offspring merch and all kinds of Offspring themes.
I saw those new jerseys, right? With the
Ooh,
skull, the
yeah.
flame skull thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
man. Hey,
cool.
I gotta say, I'll say this, based off what you just plugged right here. Look, the Offspring, they're amazing. We have such a unique partnership with these guys. Name any other professional sports team that is partnering up in this high of a level with their local artists. You know what I mean? And these guys are homegrown. Orange County, Orange Country, like they rock with us. And one thing I'll say is I know there's been a lot of mixed things with changing the goal song to the Offspring. I'm sure my man Corey had his opinions on it to a certain degree. You like it? Okay. Here's the thing.
Honestly, that means we're scoring and hopefully winning. So it's whatever.
Yeah, play whatever you want.
I'll say this, and I love the sentiment. I wish everyone had that sentiment, Corey. But I will say this. I get it. Look, goal song. No disrespect to the Broham. It really wasn't that. But when we changed to this logo, when we really embraced the new brand, Orange County, I do like to rock with a band who's huge, by the way. Like, hey, man, like, Offspring is touring all over the world. Like, dude, after my interview with them last week, they had just gotten back from Dubai, and they're going like South. They're like going to South Africa just like a few days after don't quote me on that. It's like South Africa, Brazil, just somewhere worldwide.
Wow.
Just days after our come out and play night. Like they're using like so. So anyway, the one thing I'll say is just like it's just dope to rock with a band that rocks with us.
Absolutely.
I like it.
They're Ducks fans. They rock with us, and that goal song and people are doing the haze. Like it's dope. I just want to give it its run, and let's keep going with it, man.
Yep, absolutely. Let's hopefully make it a run to a cup in a couple of years or so, and it becomes a permanent song moving forward.
There it
I
is.
like it.
There it is, man.
Again, appreciate your time, bro. Let us know in the comments. What's been your favorite sports promotion giveaway that you ever got from a game that you've been to?
I know JoJo's bobblehead was pretty cool, so let us know that that's what you're looking for. But also comment on Twitter and Instagram at RUFTB. And again, don't forget, come out and play night on the 27th of February at the Honda Center for the Ducks game.
And go follow
Yes,
JoJo
sir.
on all his platforms too. We'll plug them down in the description below. Appreciate everybody
you
for
guys,
stopping
man.
by. Thank you as always for seeing these from RV from the bench. I'm Brendan.
I'm Corey. Like we always say, enjoy the sports until we talk again.
Peace.
Be out. Peace.
This was a Sycamore Fourth Studios production.